What's up, dudes and dudes here, and my name's Scyushi, and we're back at ladies and gentlemen. It's finally happened. I haven't gone through this yet. I wanted to go through this with you guys in video, but I will put a link in the description, and I want you guys to know there is a Trove survey going on until August 9th. Finally, it does say join until August 9th for a chance to win. So my sincere hope with this survey is that it's going to ask the serious questions that we've been wanting of what direction Trove should go in, because the last time that they ended up having a survey was like a couple years ago, and they basically just asked, do you guys want us to work on more biomes, more classes, etc.? Everyone unanimously said more classes, and we ended up actually getting a few classes pretty consistently for a while there. And now the devs have kind of shifted focus and started doing kind of like whatever they feel like. I don't know. But yeah, I hope that they end up actually asking the hard questions. It would be fantastic if they did. Now, with that said, of course, there is a chance of winning 5,000 credits, 3 lucky random people. So, hey, if you end up actually winning, you should let me know. I don't know, maybe we could have a follow-up, but obviously the winner's only gonna be announced August 9th, so yeah, I don't know, join the Discord or something. Anyways, let's get started with the survey. So first and foremost, they're asking how old are you? I'm 56 and up because I'm reptilian. What gender do you identify as? This is a question Hoyoverse would never ask. I identify as other. I don't even know why I'm taking this seriously. Oh, what is your main platform? Glyph launcher. I'll take the opportunity to elaborate a little bit as well, because I get this question a lot on stream about people, you know, basically saying like, oh man, the game is so unstable for me. The 2 main versions of Trove on PC is the Glyph launcher, which you have to get from their website, and the Steam version. Now, for whatever reason, it seems to be a 50-50 split between the community of which one works better for you. I'm only saying this because sometimes people will come around and the game just doesn't work for them on Steam, but it works on the Glyph launcher, and then vice versa, it'll work on the Steam launcher. I'm in the boat where the Steam version just doesn't run very well for me, and so I always use the Glyph launcher. What language do you play in Trove? What are these questions? English. How long have you been playing Trove? It's more than 2 years. Where's the option for like what, 9-10 years now or something? How many days per week do you typically play Trove? Daily. There's once or twice per week. I mean, yeah, I hop on daily. I don't hop on like for very long stints usually. How long do you play Trove on weekdays? What? I just said daily. What motivates you to play Trove on weekdays? Well, it's my job. Which of the following platforms do you find most useful for staying updated about Trove? Choose a maximum of 3. My Discord server, not YouTube channels. Usually they are pretty good on Twitter. I don't know if I've ever seen Trove on like IGN or Kotaku and stuff, but I guess I would say their official website as well. What do you enjoy most about Trove? Okay, here we go, boys. Exploring biomes. I mean, I guess technically that's what I'm doing, right? Yeah, that's because otherwise it's building and customizing my Cornerstone Club. I haven't built stuff for years because I'm tired of the building. I've built like so many things in the game, I just have no inspiration anymore. Participating in events and quests, I mean, they're okay. Socializing with friends and other players. I do that outside of the game is the thing. Like in game, I don't really socialize with you guys as much, but I guess I would still choose this as an option, right? Because that's technically what I'm doing when I'm live streaming. Collecting items and achievements and fighting enemies / competing in leaderboards. I'm not into the leaderboards at all. I'll just pick those 2. Which current aspect of the game would you like to see improved or refined? Choose a maximum of 3. Oh boy, okay. Balance and fairness of character classes and item distribution. Don't really care that much about that. Performance and stability, I mean, yeah, but it's gotten a lot better over the years. New biomes, quests, and events. Other interface and controls. Community features for chat and guild. New classes. Now I'm going to take the opportunity to push my my YouTube influence here. You can, if you want to, choose other and say new classes. Just because it's not an option here, And new classes, in my opinion, are my favorite aspect of the game. Now, I know that there can be an argument of both sides. Not everybody thinks new classes are a good thing because obviously that bleeds into the balance of the game. But let's be real, certain classes don't have much balance in the game anyways. And with there being such an overabundance of classes, I think there's like 18 in the game right now, I personally would err on the side of add so many classes that it doesn't matter versus constantly trying to rebalance what we have. I know that that's probably a pretty toxic way of looking at things, but my mentality is if they were consistently adding classes into the game, I think there would just be so much noise around it that we wouldn't care as much about the lesser classes. I still think that the game needs to be balanced, and frankly speaking, I don't know how this game isn't balanced when the enemy variety is absolute garbage. There's just a ranged enemy and a melee enemy, and that's basically it. And then there's a couple different abilities, only like 1 or 2 of them that actually kill us in this game. But suffice to say, I think classes add the longest excitement frame for the game. This is also coming from some freak that's been playing this game for far too long, because new classes is like at least 30 hours of like good solid grinding of like just the new character, getting the nuance, getting used to them, and so on and so forth. It adds so much more to the lifespan of the game because it ends up adding something that's more meaningful than just a new enemy, which is just a reskin, or a new biome, which is technically also just a reskin. So you know what? I'm gonna take away content variety, even though I would love to see new biomes, but it also includes events and quests, which I don't care. And I'm just gonna say new classes, please. I'm actually gonna open this up a little bit more and tell them I want new classes because it adds the most variety to the gameplay. And I'm also more than willing to purchase new class packs. I'm not lying, but you know, maybe we'll wet the whistle and get them a little more excited about the idea. What new features or content would you like to see added to Trove in the future? So we got more character classes and customization. Yes. I don't know about customization options. That'd be just like a new headpiece or a beard on your character, which who cares? We've already got so many costumes and styles in the game. I think that they could actually take a step back in that regard and just focus more on like refining what's there. Expanded multiplayer modes and social features, don't really care. Additional quests and storylines, the game doesn't have a story. Enhanced crafting and building mechanics. Building, I'll be real with you guys, I actually like the building in Trove, but I feel it's very, very underutilized. Like I still remember to this day when frameworks were first added into the game, I got extremely excited at the idea that we could make our own custom frameworks. Now I know that that's, you know, a very complex mechanic that the game probably can't even hope to achieve. But there's very, very few games that have a baked in like build a structure, whether it be a corner of a wall piece or just a full house, and then just be able to copy and paste it easily. Like we need to have a selector tool and better building in this game, and then I would get right back into it. Or more important than just being able to have more tools for building, more reason for building. Allow us to like put NPCs, or maybe here's a crazy idea. Allow us to make our own adventure worlds where in a club I could set, this is a dungeon, this is where enemies spawn or something, you know, like I think it would be insane if the game took this mechanic, because then it would mean that the real builders, I'm not talking about myself here, would be able to make like these structures and areas that would almost be akin to a generic MMO. You know, something a little bit more linear, I think would actually work wonders in a game like Trove, where so much of it is randomized. Have you ever purchased anything in Trove for real money? I prefer not to say, but I'll say yes. What types of items would you like to see more in Trove's in-game store? Cosmetic items, skins and mounts, yes please. Equipment and boosts, not really. New areas and classes. That, new classes is a given. New areas, like if you could have like new biomes specifically tied to the cash shop, I know a lot of people would be kind of mad about that. I think that'd actually be a pretty cool idea, right? Like imagine content expansions, right? Sort of like DLC, Now in this hypothetical situation that I'm imagining, they would dial back the pay to win cash shop stuff, and instead they would have like, oh, maybe these mounts and stuff, you can only get them out of this new biome, and this biome is DLC. And it would technically just be cosmetics, you know, it's not like it'd be that big of a deal. Obviously there'd be mastery tied to it, but you know, only a select few people care about mastery that much. But I think that would actually be a really cool idea for them to kind of further like the cash shop in the game, because so many other games have like such a toxic level of cash shop implementation. Trove being guilty as well with very specific aspects of the cash shop. But generally speaking, I think that the cash shop is pretty okay. Or more so, it's that a lot of the stuff that they have in the cash shop is just so unequivocally bad for your value that nobody buys it. And I think that having new areas and new classes, and maybe even like, oh, you can't get these new resources unless you buy this biome that has these resources in it. Like, you know, again, I think that they would probably mess it up royally, but I think that'd be a pretty cool idea for them to move with. Feel free to share any additional thoughts, suggestions, or concerns you have about Trove. So I may have gone a little bit too far with this, but I did want to kind of skim through this for you guys really quick. These are a lot of ideas that we've talked about during our various live streams, and I'll of course have timestamps throughout this whole video so you can skip through this section. But anyways, yeah, in terms of suggestions, feedback, and concerns, I went through all of it. I think that Trove should have a battle pass similar to Fortnite, wherein every few months we could grind XP or quests to slowly max it out, with 2 sets of rewards, one for free players that offers resources and maybe a new hat aura or something at the max level, with the paid battle pass rewarding much better offers of items, including maybe like a new class or even a new costume or something. Players could also purchase battle pass levels to max it out right away. Again, this is with the caveat that I want them to have the cash shop be something seen as a bit more positive, rather than just them constantly adding like boosters and little equipment crap. Speaking of, less is more cash shop adjustments. A lot of the current cash shop items have no value. Chaos chests in particular are just a spectacular waste of money. The entire shop needs to be overhauled and have prices adjusted. There are items from 5+ years ago that have not had their price changed, but have had the method of obtaining them for free changed, making the cash shop item worthless. New classes. Classes add the most gameplay variety to Trove and are easily the most exciting aspect of the game for me. Balancing every class is difficult, but as more classes get added of varying quality, some classes will inevitably outshine others. The more classes we get, the less important this is, simply because of a larger variety of gameplay options. Speaking of class ideas, my dream class, we've talked about this before, would be a samurai similar to the game Ghost of Tsushima. I feel like I have to explain Ghost of Tsushima as a game because I don't think that the devs even know that. Where it would be entirely melee class and shift between 3 different stances, each offering strengths towards different aspects of the game, i.e. speed farming, bosses, and delves. Another class idea would be something less humanoid. I really want them to move away from humanoid classes in the game, but I don't think they will. But maybe we could have a class that has spider legs and a human torso and is an archer. How about larger classes like a giant troll with a massive swinging range for its attacks, or a smaller class that's only 1 block tall and great for building? Maybe it could place down a sandbag wall that, you know, would distract enemies and then throw down turrets or electric pylons to protect itself. I also go into saying biomes and why we don't need more. While biomes also add variety to the game, the gameplay itself as a whole doesn't really change. You're still going dungeon to dungeon, so unless the core mechanics change, new biomes are pretty boring in most cases. That said, I'll always take a new biome over a new delve. Going into the delves. Delves mechanically are great. I genuinely believe this, and I've talked about this many times, but functionally, that's what I hate about them. They're the worst aspect of the game right now. A complete overhaul to their visual variety would go a long way, making the delves look like the old Shadow Tower dungeons rather than a cave with different colored wallpaper would go a long way to make the area feel more exciting. But there should also be areas that are less confined. Being stuck indoors for the delves is what makes it feel so stifling, in my opinion. I think that they should have like you know, a big, massive area that maybe instead you go and complete objectives in smaller dungeons, kind of like a bite-sized area rather than just a big, dumb, infinite cave. Now, the negative feedback, I hope they end up taking to heart rather than, you know, taking it as an insult, but I say right now, it feels like Trove doesn't know what it wants to be. The developers need to focus up and actually start playing the game to get in touch with the wider community so you can start to understand what players want rather than continuing to add content you want, then wondering why it's received poorly. This survey is a great idea. More of this, please. Would you like to participate in the giveaway? Yeah, sure, I don't care. And that's gonna do it for the survey, guys and gals. So again, I wanted to share my opinion with you guys more seriously about like what my answers are. I know it made this video a lot longer than it needed to be, especially for something as simple as a survey. But as I've seen in the past, a survey is very, very detrimental to the future updates, at least for like a year's worth of content or something. I don't know. You know, with the updates being as slow as they are. So I would ask that you guys take this seriously. Don't just make like some bad responses saying Trove sucks lol and stuff like that. I mean, I know there's gonna be people like that that'll make dumb responses, but I want you guys to take your responses seriously enough to give them some positive and negative feedback and make sure it's constructive rather than just being a jerk that says, you fell off. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm also utilizing my YouTube influence to say that we should just keep asking for new classes, you know, just because frankly speaking, I think it adds a lot more to the game's lifespan than any other aspect of the game right now. Because anything else that I would more seriously want would be like a whole combat overhaul and an overhaul to how loot works, so that it would be more something like Diablo where you would actually like farm for specific rare gear. But something like that is just so wildly out of nowhere that it would just take such amounts of effort and resources for them to actually do that, that I think Trove might die because Gamago would pull the plug before we could see any of those aspects of the game implemented. So instead, let's just opt into classes are easier than overhauling big game mechanics. Please add more classes. And with that said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Smash like stuff for more. Leave a comment about what you guys think about all of this if you want to. And then otherwise, if you want to watch some of my other videos, YouTube thinks that the video on the top right is your best option. Otherwise, this is just going to end up being my most recent upload. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.